Hello and welcome to God First, life lessons based on the teachings of Reverend Young Hee Peck. Today we'll be taking a look at time of distress. Let's jump right in. Will things ever get better? Things seem to be getting progressively worse. We can see it in our world today. Just when we think we've turned a corner, we hit another obstacle, another tragedy, another hardship, and another milestone in pain and suffering. But we take consolation in the fact the book of Daniel says, there will be a time of distress such as never occurred. The Bible tells us hardships will grow in magnitude for individuals, society, and the church. So we're not living in a chaotic world where things are out of control. God tells us this will happen, and He tells us what to do. When things get worse and more complicated, one might be inclined to think the devil is to blame. How can God be responsible for something so evil? How can God let this happen to me? How can God let so many people die? God uses hardships as a way to raise and nurture the individual and the church. It's God's way of making us whole. For this reason, hardships get progressively worse as God's job of nurturing grows bigger. The pandemic we're seeing today isn't some random event. God creates each distress with specific purposes in mind. He wants us to build our salvation and repent. Hardships come in two ways. The first kind of hardship is not a hardship in the classical sense. This kind of hardship happens when you sell your faith because things are too good and comfortable. The second kind of hardship is the traditional kind of adversity, such as the one we face now. These hardships are difficult, harrowing, and make us suffer. They overwhelm us with its sheer force. The magnitude of the distress forces us to reflect and start over again. But God does not leave us defenseless. Regardless of what kind of hardships come our way, good or bad, God sends Michael, the great prince, to stand over us. God sends an angel to help us in our most trying moments. He watches over and guards us. Tossed overboard into the ocean, or thrown into the fire, or facing a pandemic, God saves us if we have more salvation to attain. If God deems we have more time left on earth to build our salvation and help others with their salvation, He saves us. He stands guard over us. If it's our time to go and our salvation is complete, we die as martyrs. The question remains, what should we do when hardships continue, implying we have more salvation to build? What should you do? Run? Crawl under a rock? First, we must concentrate on building our salvation and work on building the salvation of those who persecute you. We must focus on wearing His redemption, which amounts to four things: forgiveness, live without sin; justification, live righteously; reconciliation, live connected to God; and hope inclined toward God. When distress hits, wear His redemption and clothe others in this redemption. In other words, be full of Christ and fill others with Christ. Second, fix what is wrong. Set straight what has gone crooked. Make good what has turned bad. We must repent when hardships hit. When hardships persist with no end in sight, repent unceasingly. Search for things you are doing wrong and fix them. As distress grows outside your body, look inside and repent every sin. When we face hardships, focus on working out your salvation and helping others build their salvation. Then we must discover and fix what is broken. We must repent. If we do these two things, we will be made holy. As distress grows in your life, exert maximum effort at working out your salvation and the salvation of others. Do this work without pause. Next, repent what you are doing wrong. If we do these two things, we can overcome any kind of distress. In fact, the distress is no longer a distress, but simple events that bring us closer to God and salvation. And when you feel alone, trapped, and under extreme duress, take comfort in the fact God sends his angel Michael to watch over us. We are not alone. Thank you, and for more lessons like this, please visit our website at www.godfirstpec.com. See you next time.